The car has seen a healthy amount of fabrication, stitch welding everything, new bars, gutted the interior even more. In my direction, I really just wanted to give it the full attention, if you will, and I decided to media blast and powder coat it. You're working really hard to see a result, and taking the car to get it powder coated, it's like one of those things where you drop it off and you really want it back like ASAP, and then that is the longest week or 2 weeks time to get it back. Sometimes when you rebuild a chassis or when you have to do certain things, it takes so much money, where my 2015 to 16 was a lot more of just a refresh. So I was able to find the change to do things like powder coating the car. I definitely remember it just feeling like forever to get that thing back. Where sometimes though, the work process of it and the fabrication process of it, you're actually working a lot more, but the time flies because you're jamming. Then you take the car to powder coating, and then those weeks drag. When me and Bub went to pick the chassis up, it's kind of one of those feelings where, for me personally, I know I'm about to drive this thing soon. And I know it's game time for me to be focused. And for him, I think he knows everything that he's been planning and everything he mounted and tried to double check has to work. And we both just kind of have to have some confidence in that and know that we did the best we could, so here we go. When you see these cars done, you really know that Bub put the work in to make sure it was at the best level that we could at the program's time that it was at. Bub was leading the project in this, and he decided that the car should be business gray so we could get the best results out of the effort as far as keeping track of it, which is the point. And then when it came time to design the actual car, then me and Kevin had full reign on what the wrap would turn out to be like. That was all in our hands. It's pretty cool how in limbo like everything was. My car was being built by Bub, and that had a certain amount of a checklist to get done. And then also Kevin's car was being built that had like triple the list to get done. My car went to powder coating, and then the full team was on Kevin's car. And then my car came back from powder coating, and at that point, me and Ant and Tommy, we were actually able to really install a lot of the things. It's also nice to do the final assembly because 99% of the work is done. So then it all really flies together pretty quick, and you're like, damn, all right, let's go drive. So we're here in Florida. Yesterday was Thursday's practice. I had a pretty tough practice. It kind of just in general, just some mechanical issues. We're at Formula Drift, Texas, round 6. I qualified 20th. So today I battle Ryan Turk in the top 32. There's some inconsistency in our cooling, so we decided to pull the heads off and double check that like the head gaskets were cool or the heads were fine. we're standing right now, it's Friday, and there's 1 hour left in practice. So, you know, leaving off from last night, the crew took the car over to West Tech. They literally haven't slept. I was able to go back to the hotel and sleep. So we obviously had like motor issues, and I don't really know. I'm just gonna drive it. So we'll see how it goes, and just can't wait for it to get here. "2015 was my best, worst year of drifting. As a team with Enjuku Racing, we made a lot of progress with my driving and being comfortable. But the car had a lot of issues, and building a 900 horsepower LS motor, single turbo, and there was some issues we had to work through, and I was sort of kind of the driver to work through those issues in the Pro 1 class. We had basically like 2 issues going on at the same time, you know what I mean? And we didn't know if one was causing one or the other was causing the other. We didn't really understand it at the time. But essentially, you know, I would have cooling issues, so I'd be in the car, and if the motor was running great, the car would be getting hot. And some of that stuff we had to sort out just through trial and error. I ended my season in 33rd instead of 32nd, and I was forced to run the Pro 2 class, and that hurt a lot. I remember driving home from Irwindale and really remembering how much my life would change, because scheduling with the program and where I was headed and what was I gonna do, and Pro 2's only 4 rounds. So the motor package not working in 2015 really made me feel behind.
So that way both valves are shut? Put 100 pounds in.
I mean, Irwindale was a terrible event, but it was also an awesome event, because that is when we linked up with West Tech Performance. That's where we went to dyno the car before Irwindale. That's really when Ant got involved even more with West Tech, and their minds and their powers combined figured out the issue right around the end of the season. So. "2015 led to a lot of errors and issues, and as soon as that 2015 season ended, we pulled that motor off. Ant took it with him to West Tech Performance, and he set his mind up to figure every single issue out with that motor package, and that's exactly what he did. The general concept of the motor package this year is it's way overbuilt, and we're running it on like a medium to low efficiency. So it makes 900 horsepower, it could make 1500 horsepower, but on the 900 horsepower, it'll run for me all the time. Down the line of trying to figure out issues was just maybe the turbo's too small. Maybe the air is just not moving enough. You know, why are we getting these back pressure issues, and why are we lifting heads? So through that trial and error, we landed on a new Garrett Turbo. It's one of their larger turbos, and that was really cool for Bub to try and make that thing fit. When the motor went to West Tech Performance and got figured out, then we brought it right back here to Enjuku Racing, and that's when we just started plugging away on all of the additives and everything that needed to go on around the motor.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's really big.
You gotta make that fit in front of her.
Yeah, it's unfair.
What's really cool about Enjuku Racing is when the times get to be like game time. Like for example, we really wanted to have my car up and running and Kevin's car up and running in time to do some testing before we have to go show anyone what we're up to. And with that, Bub was busy on 2 builds, so Ken brought in JT, who is a local fabricator here in the Orlando area. And what's cool is I learned that JT comes in every year around the same time of year to help Bub with a lot of the exhaust work, a lot of the downpipe, a lot of the creation of the intercoolers and the piping, and the turbo piping, and pretty much everything vibrant scent got put on JT's plate. JT did a bunch of artwork with pipes, and here we are. I really want people to hear where my throttle control is. The wastegates going out the hood was just purely to create more noise. It allowed JT to flex a little bit on the fabricational side of things. It allowed the motor to just look a little bit more gnarly. And that's what we're here for, you know, to have fun and just show off all of our skills individually